Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome. My name is Nori. We're coming to you live from the Digital Engineering SMP server. We are playing the Digital Engineering SMP mod pack, and this is our mess. And yes, I know it looks like I'm creative mode flying here, but trust and believe that's not what you're seeing. If you notice little sparkly particles floating around me, yes, we have gotten in our wind stream generators. And we've put in some work. So we'll take a tour here. We've also got a few telepads spread around so we can get around to other people's locations. And so there have been a number of people putting in a lot of work. So we'll go take you guys around and let you see some of the things that you haven't been able to see as of yet. And then we'll discuss about the rest of the things that we have got going on here at our tower. So let's get started, shall we? So these are our slipstream generators. They're from Man and Artifice. They basically operate as an elevator. So as you look up, you go up into the air. As you look down, you come down. Now all of that is... I made these in preparation for the dragon head. So we've all seen the tower, right? So the dragon head is going to go right above where I'm standing at, kind of looking down at you. So as you fly up, you kind of have to fly into the dragon's mouth. The walk path that you see there is kind of where I'm expecting somewhere in that vicinity is going to be the way in to the tower, and this door that we have down here will go away. I will replace that with something else altogether. What? I don't know just yet. We'll figure it out. So, since the last time we had the last chunk of our occultism to put in place, that was off to the side there. That is now in place. I have put in these stairwells that you're seeing, these road work. So this is all fresh and new as in the last day or so. But there is the last of the occultism shop. It'll probably look better. Yeah. Let's see about, we'll do a little flight. So here is our last occultism build space, as it were. So those hold the last remaining circles for occultism. So at this point, we've got all of the summoning ritual circles for occultism down in place. So other than farming up the mats, we can do pretty much all of the things that we need to do for that. So that is the building that we settled in on, based on the pattern of the largest circle that had to go into there. I did some glass on these top sections because I thought they would look cool. There's two circles right here in this bottom section that you can't see from the outside. I got something trying to shoot me. Rude. Oh, I guess you can see it a little bit because I forgot I put these looky windows in. So yes, as you can see, there's... Excuse me. No. Okay, good. So, right. So yeah, you can see there's a circle down there, then there's a circle there. We have 3 of them all the way up, so you can get a good clean view of them. Overall, I thought that looked really well. You can see where the dragon's head's going to be, so we'll start to snake this guy around the outside here. The body segments and everything else. Probably put like a pair of his paws resting on top of this building. and maybe bring the lower half down here. So, because we're kind of going with an old Chinese like long serpent dragon, not the more classic English dragons. More because I wanted more of a lizard shape that went around the tower, than a big full bodied like dragon. So yeah, the dragon, we'll probably have the back of the dragon down here on that one. We'll put the other one up on top of this guy. We'll have the rest of them wrap around the front, and then we'll probably have the tail and whatnot will come around this side. We'll just kind of drape over top of this building-esque, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to start building to start seeing what it's going to look like, but that's going to be fun. So you can start to get a good visual indicators of the road work we put in. And so off this side, the road goes down the mountain, and then goes down to a makeshift port. And so I have to finish this up and put the rest of the boat docks, facilities, and that sort of thing in place, like a little boathouse or something down here. So that's what I need to go in there still. And then the rest of the road for this side, I've mapped it out so that it goes along the island here to this Primal Magic Shrine. And so that gives me room. So I think what we'll do is we'll take and put some villagers' houses over on this side and probably that side over here. And we'll do a little bit of terraining, flatten some of this out. Yeah, I think we'll put some villager houses and just put normal Minecraft villagers in those buildings and just let them meander about, just to give the impression of, you know, a town at the base of the Wizard's Tower. So we also brought off the other side. Again, we did another stairwell system down, and I am going to take and open up this wall, and we'll bring this out over here. So this is a Mana and Artifice Wizard Circle, or the remnants of one. And so I thought it would be interesting to include a pathway over here as an explanation of what got the wizard started into the dark arts, into this magic. The discovery of the Primal Shrines, the discovery of this old school wizard circle for Mana and Artifice, and then surrounded by lava, which would have indicated, driven him towards the evil magics that he was. So it's kind of the gameplay here I'm going for. So yeah, we'll put a path that goes over there that extends from this road. And then this road I am in the process of building out. And so this is going to come out here a ways. And then we're going to split it in two directions. So we'll come to this direction and over to this secondary shrine. And then the other side will go to the east this way, where we'll put in some more villager houses and whatnot. Probably gate that off. But yeah, I think we'll just flatten this out. And so we're going to put a little bustling city on either side of the volcano. And so that's where we're at so far. Still very much so a work in progress. But we have a couple of interesting things that we also have been working on a little bit this week. So one of the big things that we have all agreed upon and have taken up doing to some effects is building out the community center. So if you watched season 1, we had a community center in the Valhalla server. So we also have a community center here. So here we are at World Spawn. We've cleared it out, a section. And so we've started people have been putting in little buildings and houses here. So each member of the server has a chance to come out here. So like this is mine and Shale's place. Nice little hut. Simple bed, some lights, and then storage. Obviously storage. Nothing big or fancy, but yo, hey, how's it going, my friend? Nice time to. Glad to have you. We try to keep these streams fairly on time as much as we can. Glad to have you in the stream. But so yeah, this is our community center. We have more people coming. They're gonna, when they get time, they're gonna come out here and put some buildings out. So yeah, there's my little beach shack. This would be Bazinga, Astria, and Little Chris's big tower. And then this just showed up today. It looks like Astria's kitchen. So we'll have to see about making reservations. I think it looks great. Yeah. It's kind of cool. So yeah, so people logging in, joining the server will end up in this area. And so from here, the point is to have a central location for everybody to meet up with on occasions. The other nice part is for new people joining the server, and even if you die and you end up back here in World Spawn for some reason, we've put in some basic necessities to get you going. Food, whatnot, and some basic gear just to get out the door and get going back to your body if you need to. Though it's better for new people than for those of us who've been on here for just a little while. I don't know that I actually need to go back to iron gear anytime soon. You never know. So who else? So yeah, this is one of the big community projects that we've got going on. At some point, we are going to be going off and over in this direction. So these great Badlands type hills with some really cool cave structures and whatnot for making an awesome electric course. So yeah, that's one of the next things that I plan on doing is putting up that big electric course. The biggest project we have going on, we'll go check that one out in a minute. So let's pop over to the Zodos Academy. I still love that floating house. So this is Zodos' place. We haven't seen too much, but I think he's on hiatus right now, but he should be back. But this has turned out. I almost walked off that edge. It would not be good. Let's do this. So it looks like he's doing sort of in the side of a cliff face slash. He's got a much nicer pier than I do. I guess I'll have to step up my game just a little bit. Still a good pier. I love the floating house bit though. Spell gone wrong, I guess. That looks so nice. But yeah, so that's Zoda's little place. A fun little spot. Let's see. We'll go up and go peek in on Shale at the Piffering Tower. Pfeifering, I don't know how she pronounces that. I will have to catch up with her about that. Now I know her plans was slam my face into a leaf. Her plans was to make a big mushroom, so it looks like she's still outlining a lot of that, but she's definitely got a fairly large mystical agriculture farm going on here. That looks good. And I think the really neat thing that she's got going on. Yeah. You ever get on one of these Hexaria brooms? Don't hit your shift key. I can't tell you how many times I've almost killed myself with those things. So inside, here we go. She has been working on quite the not even, yeah, my brain just left me. Aquarium, there you go. It's a really cool little aquarium she's got going on. She's growing sea turtles. Looks like she's getting the occasional fish, and I think she's expanding the area out even more. Yeah, you can see her hard at work down there. Yeah, she's got quite the internal structure going on here. But this is looking really good. And I know she'll be excited when it gets done. I think she's also taking a break from this up here. But she's going with a mushroom theme, I think is what she said she was going to do. So we're all kind of excited to see what that's going to look like as she gets it further along. But yeah, this is the plant wizard shop. Then the next two members that we'll go take a peek in on is going to be over here at Kara's place and the Palace de Kara. And from here we will go visit with Bazinga and Astria. So this place is just, yeah, I don't. So if you've been tuning in, the last couple times we came out here to look at it, what we saw was just a cobblestone flooring layout that she had here. She has been like seriously busy. On a lot of. So in talking with her, this thing's supposed to be like 5 floors high. And so this is just the first story. He's got to come back in, put another floor on top of this and take it up again. Yeah, this thing's just going to be like monstrously huge. Just insanely big. Told her she was going to have to draw out maps for everybody for this place. And my understanding is correctly, this is a courtyard. It's just going to be always open like this. But she's gone through an awful lot of planning for this build. And then if we sneak very quietly off in this direction, we climb high into the sky. There is a castle in the sky. Here we come. That is the domain of Bazinga and Company. So they took over one of these castles in the skies and have just been like adding on its own little floating island landscape. looks really good. So they've like these all these extra islands on the outside. These are all they put those in there. It doesn't come with the castle in the sky. And on the interior, we'll have to set something up with them to get a gander at the inside. But the interior, I know that they've cleared out the first couple of floors. You can see they've got stuff on the outsides. Somebody's got a little farm or an animal pen sanctuary. I don't know what you want to call this. Really just kind of neat. So they've done a really good job out here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how much extra stuff that they continue to add on, where they go to from here. I love the additions of the propellers. It keeps their island stabilized in one place. Maybe that's not what they put it on there for. Still looks neat. But so they're neighbors of Astria. Astria and Bazinga are neighbors of Kara. So they're within a short flight. So that's not too bad. We were trying to have this season we were trying to keep everybody a little closer together, just because it helps encourage people to do things together. But maybe more so than that, it just helps to build helps with creativity. Sometimes it's nice to look at somebody else's done and go, "Ooh, that gives me an idea," and then you go off and go do your thing. There is that possibility. Well, not so much open, but we do have people who come in and do play. So yes, there's room for, I think we got room for like a couple, 2 or 3 more bodies on the server before we're just gonna hold it at that point. But yeah, it's available. Dark Tower, here we go. Get back to where I was going now. Well, so I'm gonna call it high-low at this point. If you do an exclamation Discord in the chat, it'll get you a link to our Discord server. Pop on in there and come chat with us. There you go. And you just come hop on into the Discord and chat away with us, and yeah. And then, if you want to come play, you're welcome to come. We can have those discussions. We're happy to have people come join the community and help build, because some of these gets really cool, some of the buildings that go on, and sometimes it's like really just fun just to do some collaborative builds with people and that sort of thing. So that's what the community center is about, is a way to get us all building together in one spot, for those that want to contribute. Now we have a couple of members that are they're not much for building. They like to just adventure. So Kato and his group are sure. Yeah, Kato and his group are more of the adventuring type. So this mod pack is slightly more skewed towards high adventure in certain points. So we have a lot of dungeons that spawn. I would not advise going and sticking your nose into them, because they spawn a lot. And in the early phases when you first join in, before you you pick a path for your magic or whatnot. You get settled in with your gear wise, that it will crush you. In some cases, I still get my butt kicked. Not really roguelike. So we have when dungeons arise in here, and then we have the 3 different versions of awesome dungeons, and so there are just smattering of dungeons. Tell you what, there's I can show you. There is, yeah, straight this way. So just due east of my volcano fortress, or volcano, my tower, as it were. Give you an idea of some of the dungeons. It is just some of the dungeons. It's not the quickest of rides, but it's a ride. Yeah. Oh, good grief. I forget how far away. It also got like Tinker's Construct in here, so if you like doing all that smelting stuff. Huh. Somebody's carved out a square? Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm going to get sidetracked just because that's a really nice square somebody carved out. Huh. I guess they really needed to stand for something. So yeah, early game does tend to be so you're not going to find it's a very difficult early game here as long as you don't do like really crazy things. If you pop in the server, my first suggestions would be go find a village or talk to one of the people who running around already. So like here's an example of a small dungeon. Right, this is very small. There's like 3 or 4 spawners in this place. And it's basically what you see is what you get. So this is one of the smaller dungeons from Awesome Dungeons. And right on the other side of the place is another dungeon. But this one is massive because this one is like constantly spawning. Pillagers with crossbows, and this is not a small dungeon by any stretch. Like loads of floors up and down this thing. So yeah, and this one just like spawns nonstop. There are a few spawners in here, but the spawners are for skeletons. These things just naturally spawn pillagers with crossbows loaded with fireworks. Yeah, and this is actually the medium-sized version of this. There's one, and I don't think I've seen it, but somebody else was talking about. There's one over here in the west somewhere that's like, it's the bigger version of this. So, but yeah, if this is already your thing, then here you go. It's here. And this thing's it's already spawning tons of creatures, and I'm just flying around the outskirts of it. But yeah, that one just naturally spawns the pillagers and whatnot internally to it. So setting up a base inside of it's really dangerous because they'll just keep spawning. But yeah, you can find villagers, and so we have easy villagers in the spot pack. So it makes doing things like getting an iron farm up and going really simple. You just need a little bit of iron, and then you can just walk up and then just pick you up a villager and just take them with you. That makes life like super easy. I really hate some of the early game setup. Some of the stuff I don't mind, but some of the other stuff it just Once you've done it once, you've done it like 50 times. And And so we went more with the, okay, let's not make this a drawn out process. Ooh, a little bit of latency today. There we go. My networks must be, oh, it's the rain. It's always the rain. That is why we learned some rain magic. My rain wand. There. But we have, if you like creative mode flight for getting around, there is angel rings in this mod pack. Some of our members like that for their builds. I have been going out of my way not to make it. Just because I wanted a challenge this season. And so I thought it would be better to stick with purely magic-based solutions for my aerial maneuverability. So in this particular instance, I have been flying around on a magic broom, which I may have to recharge. I don't know when the last time it was I dusted the lint trap on the back end of that thing. And there is a little bit of technical in here. So we do have create. Create is what you want to call technical. RF tools is in here for a good little chunk, but mostly RF tools is in here to support RF dimensions. So people could have custom dimensions. We thought that would be interesting and adds an interesting bit to the backstory of the mod pack, as it were. So basically, the backstory is the ancient builders, as it were, created crazy technology and caused a breakdown in the material plane, and then magic started bleeding in. They died out, and so there's a little bit of their tech left around, but magic's pretty much the predominant working force now. So that was the thought process there. Away. But yeah, there you go. You now know all the secrets. But yeah, like instead of doing, I mean, you could do big iron farms if you really want to, but like this is an iron farm, and it's literally just a villager, and there's a crafting recipe for it. Iron farm, if I can learn to spell correctly. So this is your crafting recipe for it. So it's not like super expensive. But it's also much nicer on the server too. Not a whole lot of crazy iron farms that will generate a bunch of extra lag with villagers doing weird sort of things, that sort of stuff. This one's been running for me since like day 2 or 3 on the server, so I've made about 4K worth of iron, plus or minus the stuff that I've used already. I know Katoa's got like 3 of these tagged together, and he's got so much iron coming out of his nose. But yeah, pretty much almost everybody on the server has one of these iron farms. They're very useful. And again, they save you a lot of headache with the early game stuff. The other thing Easy Villagers lets you do is this sort of thing, where you can have your traders. So like this is my trader hall. I need to knock the walls out and make this a little bit bigger so I can expand the trading system. And they also have these converters. So this is what you use to reduce the price tag of your villager. So you stick him in here with a weakness potion and some golden apples, and he gets turned into the zombie villager and then converted back to a normal villager, and then you can put him back up there and you get cheaper trades for it. So last season I walked around pretty much with a mech tool as my primary tool of choice for like everything. This season, it's been a series of spell books, so it's been a nice change. Good evening, Katya. Welcome to the stream. We have Mine Colony for the people who want to do Mine Colony, which I think right now on the server there is one Mine Colony. Hi, mister. Welcome, welcome. How's it going? So, yeah, the next, I think tomorrow, tomorrow, the game plan tomorrow is just to start building in the dragon's head. So I think that's really going to set the shape for the body and everything else. So we'll put the dragon head in that way. So when you stand here to go in, then you can look like you're flying into the dragon's mouth. And that's just going to be a neat effect. But we got all of the rest. One of the things I have been toying around with is coming back. So that's a floating building, but I'm thinking I might put an entire pillar structure underneath of it. So rather than having it just hanging off the side, I mean, it's being supported, obviously. Let's do it this way. We have a whole gantry plank, chains and everything else that's holding the building up. But I'm thinking maybe we use that more for like a stabilizer to keep it straight. And then we put a pillar, a nice big solid pillar stand underneath of it. That would suit this floor pattern better, I think. Been trying to figure that one out. I've been tossing it back and forth. I think it would look better. It almost has that look of like it needs something underneath of it. But we'll get there. We'll get there. The tower's looking great. The tower came along very nicely. We're ready to put some dragons in. And then the other thing that I have planning on doing was I was going to build a village along this road on this side and the other side. So we'll put in a bunch of houses and have little people down here living in the shadow of the dark tower, as it were. This place, it's just, it looks bigger and bigger every day. But yeah, I think once we get the dragon in here, I think that's really going to go a long way to really fleshing out the rest of the tower. And then we can start focusing in on, well, then there's the interior design work of everything. Excuse me, sir. I should probably put something up there to prevent these spawns. I'm trying not to like really overlight the place, just because I want to keep the ambiance. We had to go through and put some sticks everywhere, or string. Maybe that would be the thing to do, is put some string on top of the buildings. Keep them from spawning. I don't know. We'll figure that out. There you have it. That's where we're at so far. And this is what we've been working on so far. The elytra courses have definitely something to put in. I think tomorrow too, while we're working on Dragon, we may take time out because we finally got everything necessary. Pop over here. Finally did get everything necessary in our Where did I stick this? Oh, they're all the way up on the 4th floor. Okay. So I think tomorrow we'll spend some time putting in the our teleport system for inside of here. It'll help getting up and down these places much easier. But yeah, so here's our mana and artifice floor where we keep all of our mana and artifice things. Excuse me. Sorry, I just had a visiting cat. I decided they were going to walk up behind my computer. That's not a kosher place for them to be. So we finally have enough wellspring energy to make our tier 5 faction armor. So that's the other thing we have to do that we can work on tomorrow is get our infernal helmets and these guys crafted up. So that should prove to be interesting. There's going to be a bunch of steps to get all of the little odds and ends for this, but the biggest portion was getting the wellspring stuff in place. Now that we have that, it's a few rituals, make some runes. So if you're interested in mana and artifice and what you're kind of looking at dealing with there, we'll go through some of those steps tomorrow. You can see what that looks like. I love the view from this floor. It's really good. We are trying to be on this mod pack for as long as we can. So we were on the Valhelsia 3 for I want to say like 8 months before we ran out of basically stuff to do and people got bored. This mod pack is our own custom curated mod pack for the server. So the plans is to release extra mods in here to keep interest going and to add new content for people to do things with. So we're going to try at least like a year or so if we can, but we'll see. But at least 8 months. And we're still just getting started good. There's still a lot more work going to occur here. And like I said, I fully expect at least 8 months, if not longer than that. Just because we are curating the mod pack so we can keep things interesting. I know here in the next... hasn't really been necessary, but at some point in time, there are plans to introduce Ars Novia and those mods in here with the create mods, so that will help to bridge some of the create contraptions with some of the magic contraptions. So I've got plans of bringing that one in sometime later on, which is going to add some extra details to the mod pack. Allow for some more interesting automation stuff. And we're reviewing there's like there's a couple other ones. At some point, we may convert this over. I don't know. But for right now, yeah, next at least 8 months or so. So it is, I would think we should be able to get to at least next year. Bricks, like normal bricks, or because I mean, if you type bricks in JEI, we have like all the Corel pillar type bricks, Domo monumentums in here because we have mine colonies. You have all the standard 1.18 bricks. We have Create Deco and all their bricks in here. Quarks. I got like 3 pages worth of bricks. Yeah. Yeah, so Biomes of Plenty's got plenty of bricks. Create Deco's got plenty of bricks. Crack bricks. There's mossy bricks. So yeah, you just hit bricks in there, and then of course you have the big like regular stone bricks, which I like this deep slate tiles. These look like really small, like interleave bricks types. So these look really good. So I use a lot of this for flooring. But yeah, there's small bricks, big bricks, little bricks. Have at it. What is that? Triangle seared bricks? I have no idea. Then yeah, there's warm bricks and normal bricks, and if it's a brick, it's in here. A lot of a lot of our regular players put in a lot of requests for a lot of the decoration blocks. So we have things like macaws. So we have almost all of macaw's recipes and macaw's mods. So bridges, lamps, lights, doors, roofing tiles, those sort of things. We also have Mr. Crayfish's his stuff in here. So those are in there, cooking for blockheads. A lot of decoration mods. A lot more of the more what's the word I'm looking for? We have a lot of decorative mods. A lot more of the functional mods, like Mana and Artifice, Primal Magic. Those actually make up a small portion of the mod pack, where the majority of it was more things that people wanted. So there's also, like I said, there's RF dimensions in here, so you can create your own custom dimension if you really want to just build an entire dimension of bricks from the ground up. Help yourself. That is something that can be done. It's not going to be easy. That's leftover tech from the ancient builders, so you have to do a little bit extra work for that one. But it's a doable thing. The other ones that we have, so we have dimensional pockets. So if you wanted to create a base that you kept in your back pocket and run around with, you can do that. Don't know that I would suggest it, but it is a doable thing. We have telepads, which if you've been watching the stream, we've been using those to travel around as one form of transport. The other big form of transport we have is down. I have a version of it down here. I know Bazinga and Astra use an awful lot. So we have Cosmos's portals. So these allow you to make a portal to a specific point, overworld, in another, in a different dimension. So this allows you just to set up a permanent portal. And you can make it as big or as small as you want. It's entirely up to you. If that's not up your speed, Mana and Artifice has a teleport spell. This one does require a little bit of setup to make happen. Because you kind of have to know where you want to go ahead of time. So let's do this, right? So you can teleport yourself. And that's one teleportation method. There's also teleportation rituals. There's summoning rituals. There's a lot of fun ways of getting around in here. That's not just grab your elytra, handful of rockets, and go flying off in a different direction. They will say that. There's definitely a lot of interesting methods of getting around. I think my personal favorite, even though it's slower than dirt, would be the flying carpet. Just because, you know, who doesn't like having a flying carpet? But it is. It's really slow, but it does make for a nice replacement for like creative mode flight. So I have used this to help hang certain portions of the building off the side and whatnot. So it does have some benefits. It's just, I wouldn't try going a long distance with it. That's painful. So there you go. But we are coming up on the end of our stream for this evening. If there's any other questions, comments, things people want to know, we're happy to have those conversations. And yes, I've gotten Elytra. No, I just don't use it. This mod pack has been all about trying to break everybody out of like comfort zones of what you're used to. So, if you come from like a heavy tech mod, like where mechanism is a primary functional way, you'll go, well, but Nori, without mechanism, how are you going to get ×5 or multiplication? I would point you at occultism, which is in here. You go, well, Nori, but how do I get ores without having to go and mine for ores? I would again tell you to go see occultism. Occultism kind of yeah, well, that's the thing, right? I've like lived, create, and mechanism, and tech, and yeah, I've done Britannia. Britannia was in Valhelsia 3, and that was Valhelsia 3's version of Magic. And well, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Britannia is more of a generator system, and so it never really felt like Magic. Just to make a spell, and we'll take the very basics of just to make a spell to just break the dirt up off the ground. You have to go scribe it. Once you're done scribing, then you got to go do a ritual to imbue the spells spell stuff into. Yeah, listen to me talk. Blah, blah. There's a whole series of steps, and so I kind of like the way, even in Primal Magic, there is this whole series of steps that you kind of have to do in order to get access to casting spells. It's not like it's not like in like Mechanism or another, or even like Britannia for that instance. With Britannia, you could just make the tools, and so you could make like the Mana Steel, and have access to a self-healing regenerative. Basically, it's iron tools with mana with a regen on it, with mending on it. And you go, hey, that's magic. Well, yeah, that is. But here, if I wanted a spell that would just break a pillar, break some rock, I have to come do a ritual, and it requires items that gets combined to make the spell. And so you make these spells. And so you feel accomplished, I guess is more of the words. I actually feel like, hey, I made this spell that summons a magic sword. And that feels like I actually accomplished something to get that spell. That required I had to go out, farm a bunch of ingredients, and then come down here and perform some kind of ritual, as well as go upstairs and define how I want the spell to be done. Primal Magic has almost the same sort of thing, but you have to do a bunch of research. So Primal Magic feels like if you've ever done like Thaumcraft, that's what Primal Magic kind of reminds me of. Is Primal Magic kind of bridges Mana and Artifice and some Thaumcraft, where Mana and Artifice is, I'm trying to remember, what was that? Ars Magica. If you've ever done anything with Ars Magica, then you'll feel right at home here with Mana and Artifice. But like, here is your research table where you go, hey, this is the form I want. This is the function I want it to do, and then here are some modifiers that I want to tack in on the spell, so that you can adjust the spell. And then the spell has, as you can see, right, like Spectral Arrow. Sometimes my page doesn't update. Purple Glyphs, Pufferfish. So the spells have required regions just to make it. So we can make the spell, But just in making the spell is only one part of the process. So again, it's not like it's a really fast thing to get through, to get anywhere. You put in a little bit of effort to get there. But it's fun. And you'll either go, okay, this is just too much pain in the neck, and you give up on it, and that's fine. Or it's one of those, you're like, okay, I actually feel justified and rewarded. I went through all those horrible steps to get this thing. And then you get to a point where in Mana and Artifice, you've casted spells enough times, they're now rote. And so now you can make your book of rote, and so you can create spells on the fly. Right? So like these are all the spells I cast the most. I use all the time. And so I can just design a spell now on the fly because I've used this enough time. As well as this one. That's recall. So do I don't think I actually have a blink spell yet. I need to do that one. Yeah, I need to do that one. We got a few more minutes real quick. We'll go do this real quick. Here's some fun examples. I do a lot of magic testing here in the mining dimension because it's safer. Big flat world. Who doesn't love a nice mining dimension? There's Rift. Grab. There's my spell book. I haven't used these spells in a little bit. So like here are spells that we use to get good at casting. And so it raises the ground up. There we go. So, if you wanted it to go up in the air, you can. And so you could use this to make your own personalized floating island. Now, granted, Britannia did the same thing. And Britannia had an interesting effect on how they did theirs. But I kind of like the way this one works. And of course, if you want to drop it back down, you can. So all the clap spell does is just turns the blocks into behaving like sand real quick. And so it just falls back down. But so, that's again, but as an example of some spells that you could craft up. So I just uploaded those to YouTube earlier this week. If you go watch the latest Saturday episode on the YouTube channel, there's a section in there where we talk about where I show you the fastest way to mine anything down in another. And once you've seen it and used it, you're kind of like, okay, there's no. Why would you ever go back to like the drill from anything? This is just way more fun, way more satisfying. That's just fun. And that's not the limit to this, because there's right. So we can customize this real quick. That's one way of doing it. We have this one. That's fine. We'll take it 4 high. Yeah, 4 high is good. So that's one way. So that's the waveform. The other one, which is as fun. This one generates a little bit more lag, but you can just like excavate an entire area, and no, we're not throwing it away. It all ends up here in my bag. It does that because I have this ring called the Collector's Ring. It's basically like an advanced magnet for Mana and Artifice. So it just picks this stuff up and drops it right in my bag. I don't have to worry about losing anything. So it's not like the building tools where you could delete blocks to get it out of your way. There's actually, I'm going out and going farming for this stuff. I wanted cobblestone. Well, here we go. The storage that I'm using is made from occultism. It basically looks like refined storage. If you've ever used refine, it's a very similar thing. It has integrations with. You'll love this one. We are running over on time, but I think it'll be all right. It can be a few minutes longer. It's not gonna hurt anything real quick. So down here. Let's first fix this. So here's where my storage is at, right? So this is the dimensional storage actuator, and this works much like refined storage. Really kind of close. Not an exact one-to-one, but it's got this really cool effect where you can summon up this demon. In this case, I've got this guy, and I call him Kermit. And Kermit has been told to interact with this rune forge from Mana and Artifice. So what does that look like? So if we took Kermit and we went and looked for some dust, I've got some gold dust. So we say, okay, Kermit, I want you to go and smelt me up some gold dust. He'll take it out of the storage for us, walk it over to the machine, plop it in the machine, wait for it to get done cooking, and then he'll return it back to your storage. So not an exact one-to-one with Refine, where Refine could do the same thing, but Refine would also, you could program Refine to craft something all the way through. So if it had a smelting component, it would auto smelt for you. That being said, if you really find that you want refined and you need refined storage is in the mod pack. It's there. You can make use of it. Again, I've used it an awful lot. I'm still trying to not go with the normal status stuff that I've been using. Storage drawers is a really popular one. We put functional storage in instead of storage drawers. It's the same concept idea. They do the same thing, but the difference between functional storage and storage drawers, they even pretty much have the same crafting recipe almost, is that the upgrade path for this one is actually more meaningful, right? So there's the copper, gold, but one builds on the other. If you've ever used the standard storage drawers, you know you can go straight to the times 32 block with an upgrade token and a couple of emeralds. And so why would you ever go with a smaller upgrader? There's never a need to make the small ones. Just go straight to the 32 and call it a day. Stick. But yeah, well, you're welcome to come stick your head in Discord and we can have the conversations and whatnot. We can go from there. Yeah. Yep, we'll catch you guys around. Again, we'll be here tomorrow morning, my time. I don't know. That's why we always go afternoon, evening, and morning, because everybody's got weird hours and it's a different time for them. But we're here for the long run tomorrow. That's going to be our build dawn. So we'll try to get some of the dragon pieces in place, and then we'll go do some of our tier 5 armor. I'm tired of looking like a bug, as somebody pointed out to me before. So we'll see about swapping that armor out for something else, and we'll go from there. But I would like to thank everybody who showed up tonight. I hope you've gotten we've seen some interesting things, and we hope to continue to bring you more interesting things as we continue on through this season. Take care. Thanks everybody for coming out, and we'll see you next time.